Bienvenidos amigos de Expogame Chile, mi nombre es César, ustedes yo creo que ya me conocen por el canal de críticas QLS y el día de hoy debo contarles que tengo el gran honor de entrevistar al grandísimo Charles Martinet. How are you doing today, Charles?
Hola amigos, I'm doing very well, thank you very much, César. Y hola a todos mis amigos en Chile, soy yo, Super Mario, mamma mía, ustedes son número uno. Yahoo! It's great to see everybody, and I hope we're going to see each other for real one day soon when COVID-19 is past us.
Well, yeah, that's actually what I wanted to talk to you about, because how's the pandemic been treating you, at least, over there?
Thank you for asking. We started reading the newspapers about it really early, and so we started locking ourselves down the first couple of days of March and didn't go out of the house, had our groceries delivered, and, my hands have never been so clean.
Yeah, I imagine.
But it's been amazing, really. It's such an adventure, and I know we've been very lucky. That, everyone that I know is really good. My mom, who's 93 next week, is doing very well. But I miss my mother. I'm in another country, and I miss my mom. I miss my dear friends that are there, and I know that there's some people have been touched very, very much by COVID-19, and I'm so sorry for the losses and for the difficulties that people have. These are really hard times.
Pretty hard, yeah. It is crazy times.
And for those of us who have been so lucky not to have people in our families that are sick, for us this will be the most amazing time in our lives as we look back, because I've never seen anything like it before. I've never, the last thing was the big flu in 2000. Oh no,
the swine flu. Oh, okay, yeah. That was even before that.
That was the last one, and this is really terrible. But I hope people are using the opportunity to find things to do. I know playing Super Mario games, that's a great thing.
Totally, right? Yeah.
Take your stress away and have a great time. I know Animal Crossing has been really popular with people, and
it's been really big.
Oh yeah, it's really great. And of course now the 35th anniversary. Woohoo!
Yeah, 35 years already of Mario. So I wanted to ask, it's a shame because of the pandemic, aside from all the other things and the depression that it can bring on people being on lockdown and everything else, it's also a shame because we would have liked to have you here as part, because from what I understand that you're pretty fond of Chile.
Oh, me encanta Chile. Es un país formidable y sobre todo la gente, pero también me gusta la comida, los picos rocos.
El pico roco. So how many times have you been here before?
A la comida.
Sí. So how many times have you been here before?
I think I've been there about 5 times.
5 times already.
It's been 5 years, I think, since I've been there.
Oh, it's a long time.
This time I'll be able to go, but then I am pulled somewhere else in the world. But hopefully, we're going to figure out a way to get back together, because I love you guys.
To get back here.
Yeah.
So you've only been in Santiago?
I've only been in Santiago. I went also just into the countryside a little bit to the place with the elevators that go up and.
Okay, Valparaíso.
Yeah,
that's where you get like the seafood, right? Because you're a big fan of seafood.
Well, so that the fish market in Santiago.
Mm-hmm.
That fish market the metalwork was designed by Eiffel, the man who made the Eiffel Tower.
I had no idea.
Yeah, and
I had no idea.
Gorgeous structure, and the fish is incredible. The food is incredible in there. So I miss that too.
Yeah, it's awesome that you're teaching me about my country. I actually really like it, man. Like every day you can learn something new. And a little bird told me that you were even planning on retiring here in Chile. Is that true, or is it just hearsay?
Except I'll never retire because I have so much fun working. I love Nintendo. I love doing the games. I love doing Comic-Cons and meeting amazing Mario fans. That's just the joy of a lifetime, is to meet people who have passion and joy and fun. And, now I've been doing it for 29. This is my 30th year.
30th year.
oh, it's so there's 3 generations of beautiful people who are full of love and joy. I could never retire because I would miss that too much, that human connection, that sharing of passion and joy that's so great,
Yeah, of course. So many people may not know this, but you actually hold a Guinness World Record, right?
Oh, yes, I do. I have the Guinness Book of World Records, which I actually think I got 2 years ago for the most video game characters, and the most I'm doing Mario more than 100 times, and the 100th game was Smash Brothers.
Super Smash Brothers.
Then it's been like another 10 or 15 games. So every time there's a new game, I've got a new record.
Yeah, totally. So I guess you're gonna hold on to that record for a while then.
I hope so. I will keep doing these voices as long as I can, and I'll probably be the first one to hear that. But
Yeah.
Voices are strong. The guy that did Tony the Tiger. The guy that said they're great.
Great. Yeah.
That guy was 93 when he stopped doing that.
Wow. Yeah. That's a pretty long career.
I'm shooting for 110, but
okay. but you never know, right?
You never know. Every day is a beautiful gift. I think that's the thing that's the most wonderful that I can say about my life is I never knew I wanted to be an actor. I had never heard of Mario. I had never heard of Nintendo. But I knew I wanted to be happy and bring joy to people, bring smiles to people. And I stumbled around in my life and I went this way and that way and never knew where I wanted to go. And everything just fell into my lap. And so it's what I wish for everybody, that you find your joy, your happiness, what brings your dreams to reality, your passions and your joy and the fun and that hunt for happiness and the love that you have for your life and for your friends and family. Because I think when you're living in that life, when you're touching that, when that's your main goal, there's something that happens that the universe says, oh, okay.
Yeah, I actually wanted to ask you about that, about how you stumble onto Mario. But before that, I would like to ask you also, how many other characters do you portray? Because I know that you do Mario and Luigi.
Yeah. Super Mario, Mamma Mia, Luigi 2, number 1, Luigi number 1, oh, what a rotten day, Yahoo. Mommy said, say something nice.
Right.
And Luigi, everybody cheek with me. Baby Luigi and baby Mario. Let's go. Woohoo! So there are a few there.
Yeah, there are a few there. Which one would you say that you enjoy the most aside from Mario?
It's Mario all the way. But of course I love Luigi. I'm the second born son. And so I'm taller than my brother and I run faster than my brother. Because I had to growing up, Yeah,
you had to outwin him somehow.
And my brother was the type of person that, if he wanted to go outside, he wouldn't bother opening the door. He'd just walk through it, And I'd be like, no, we better not go outside. Better not go outside. Mom didn't say we could go outside yet,
Yeah.
I was always the one that was more trepidatious, more sort of timid and worried about doing the wrong thing, My brother was always, there he goes.
Yeah, it was just like straightforward to the point, pretty much.
Yeah, very much. But it's funny because I think back to my childhood. What a wonderful childhood, my dad would come home and play catch with us after working all day and play with a baseball or a football or ride bikes with us. And my mom was teaching school and, come home and correct papers and make dinner and go out with us. And we'd go to the parks and the picnics. And my brother and I, we lived in San Jose, California. And it's very funny because back when we lived there was no Silicon Valley. So we would get on our bikes and ride over to a reservoir where there were snakes and lizards and frogs. And we tortured my poor mother by bringing home hundreds of little animals.
Of course, yeah.
Living all over the house.
And do you still maintain that? Because I've noticed that there's been a loss in society, at least, of like going outside and like enjoying the day, the whole laissez-faire, if you will.
Yeah, I still try to do it. I have to. As you get older, the danger is too much comfort. I love to just lie in bed and do the crossword puzzles and the spelling bee, and then read and then emails. I can sit inside all day long, so I have to sort of force myself to get up, get out of bed, and start walking. Take a nice, long, brisk walk first thing in the morning, because it extends the day. And especially I have to do that now, because usually I'm on a plane. I'm going somewhere. I go 25 shows a year doing Comic Cons around the world. And then when I'm not doing that, I get on a plane and I go to an island, or I go to a place that's, quiet and far away with new art, new culture, new something. And I can't do that now. So I have to figure out how to keep the adventure alive,
Right. Like a way that something that could mirror that type of experience.
Yes. Something
I understand.
that keeps the heart young and makes you passionate about waking up every day and thinking, this is going to be a great day, And you can't do that if you go, this is going to be a great day. I'm going to do the crossword puzzle and the spelling bee and read the newspaper on the terrible news in the world. And then it's going to be 5 o'clock and I go, I haven't even gotten out of bed yet, So
I know how that feels.
You gotta do something to get yourself going, to get your motivation going, to bring the joy in, because it's really hard times, and it's very easy to forget that you're the master of your destiny. It's easy to fall into the routine. Yes, you must bring the joy. You must bring the happiness to yourself so that you can bring it to other people with purity, And it's very important. And it's a very important thing to me and it's one of the things that I love about Nintendo, the integrity is there. For, its 35th anniversary now, 35 years of playing Mario games. And I promise you, if you play the very first Mario game and the most recent Mario game, you're going to go, oh yeah, this is a Mario game. It never changes. The integrity is there. The value is there. And I hope that my voice brings that little something extra to bring a little more smile and a little bit more joy, but always to complement the process. And that passion, that joy, that love of the game is something it's something that everybody shares. It's something we all share all around the world, generation after generation. And it's a tribute to the people that I work with, who do all the real work, by the way.
To do all the real work. So to you, what does a Mario game constitute? What makes it Mario?
Oh, that's a very good question. Well, you tell me. A Mario game, to me, it always has this sense of adventure, and the sense that the music is joyful, the adventure, and the challenges that once you accomplish, you have the next challenge you got to get better than, and you memorize and you remember, and then you apply that memory to the next level, to the next thing. And as you keep going, as you keep learning, you get to more levels and more, and then a new game comes along and it's completely different, but there's that same sort of, wait, this helped me figure this out last time. Maybe this will, no, it's different. The adventure stays alive. And it's the same thing about life, if you remember how to do a good day. What is a great day? And it's like, I remember that picnic. That was the best picnic of my life. If you never do it again, it's forgotten.
Of course.
But doing it, and then next time, we'll try a different picnic, and then a new food. What if I bring that? And what if I bring that? Every day building on that passion and that joy and going deeper and finding more of that beautiful mystery that is life,
It's a beautiful mystery that is life. I like that.
It's a beautiful gift, and it's very fast. I'll tell you a secret, and it's not a good secret. It's a terrible secret.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, the faster time goes. And I think it's because when you're a baby, if you have 1 year, it's your whole life experience all over again. Then another year is like a whole half of your life experience again. But when you're 50, it's like 1 year is like, that's only 2% of your life. So it goes really fast. So you must, as you get older, and this is what you should do when you're young to get used to it, is make every day count. Bring something new into your world. It doesn't matter what it is. It can be a different slice of bread, but creating something new, and experiencing the joy and the passion of it, There's that Eastern mythology, with like the Western thing is, oh, look, I've got a banana. I peel it as fast as I can and throw the banana peel away, and then I ate it. Wait, did I eat it? I didn't enjoy it, but I ate the banana. Whereas that sort of older world sort of thing is like the peeling of the banana and enjoying the sound and the sight and the smell, and then the aroma, and then tasting that first taste, making it an adventure, something that is a beautiful memory of what a banana is or what an orange is. It's too easy to skip over things in life, and this is a great opportunity inside the COVID-19 as we have to pare our lives down. It's how do you find the joy? That's the mystery. How do you find the joy, the happiness, the fun, the adventure? How do you expand your brain, And
how to appreciate things that maybe you didn't appreciate before.
Yeah, your family, your friends, the games you play, the little things in life that we all take advantage of and take, what do you call it? You just take it for granted, and it won't always be there. So this is a wonderful opportunity to slow down and remember the love in our lives, remember the joy, remember the happiness, and bring it to the table as our world reopens up.
I love it. I have to agree with you there, man. I really love it. So talking about when you were talking about mystery and the new things, have you ever considered any other characters or any other character that you would like to play? To voice, actually?
Yeah, I'm the luckiest guy in the world. I think I did, before I started doing Mario games, I had done about 150, maybe 200 other games, just doing other characters that just, here's an audition, read for it. Oh, great, Russian guy, French guy, just go in there, villain, good guy, just running in and doing those things. And I did 600 training films and maybe 1,000 radio and television commercials. I have been so blessed, and I have so many wonderful things. My cup is full. My cup is full of joy and gratitude, and I don't need anything more except more time. Please.
More time, please. Okay, so regarding voice work then, so you were an actor beforehand. How did you stumble into the whole, I'm going to be Mario now?
Well, this was, I was doing the things. I had been doing theater, and then when theater sort of stopped working for me, I started doing videos and corporate things, and then live shows, and then radio. And each time something would collapse, something new would come along. So I was doing what actors do, lying on the beach, reading a book, waiting for my pager.
Waiting, yeah. Yeah, totally.
Pagers before the brick phone,
Before, yeah.
Yeah, and my pager went off, and I said, wow, okay. Oh, it's my friend. It must be time for dinner or something. So I ran over to the phone off the beach, which is unusual. I usually would just wait for a couple hours till I'm hungry and it's time for dinner, and I got on the phone and I said, hey, what's going on? He goes, are we having dinner? He goes, no, I want you to go to this audition. I said, I can't crash an audition. I'm a professional actor. No, you got to crash an audition. I can't crash an audition. You got to crash an audition. Where do I go? Over there. Okay. And I have no idea why, but I left the beach. I went to this audition. I found a parking space. Even though it was the no parking time of day, I still found one of the few parking spaces. And I walked in the door. And as I was walking in, the producer was walking out the door with and the producer I just talked to on the phone yesterday, by the way, 30 years of friendship. And the guy behind him had the Sony camera bag. So I went, this must be the director.
This must be him, yeah.
Yeah. So I said, hi, can I please read for this? And they had obviously finished for the day, but the guy was so gracious. He looked at his watch and he looked at me, looked at his watch. I know in his brain he was going, it's time for a martini.
Totally, yeah. Time for a beer.
But he said, all right, come on inside. Look, you're an Italian plumber from Brooklyn for a video game character named Mario, and it's for a real-time animation system. So you're going to have these things glued to your face or taped to you, and when you move your face, when you talk, that's going to make the cartoon character do it. There'll be a hidden camera, a hidden microphone, and we have no idea if this is going to work or not, but I'm not going to pay you to sit around drinking coffee all day. So just make up a voice and make up a video game, make up anything you want, start talking, and whenever you run out of things to say, that's your audition, then we'll go. And I thought, it's not the plumber from Brooklyn. Get out of my face! I'm working here, And I thought,
a midnight cowboy.
Kids, But luckily, many years before, I had played Gremio in Taming of the Shrew, a nice Italian guy, talk like this. Signor mio Petruccio. And I thought, well, I'll do that voice, but make him younger, and then I'll just make up a video. I don't know anything about video games except waka 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 waka, and Space Invaders, and that's And I thought, well, I know I love food. Obviously, I love food, so I'll make up a video game about food. And I'm thinking, well, I'll do the Gremio voice, maybe a little bit younger, And then all of a sudden I heard action, and I said, hello, I'm Mario. Let's make a pizza pie together. You go get some sausage. I get some spaghetti. We put the spaghetti and the sausage in the pizza. And then I'm going to chase you with the pizza. If I catch you with the pizza, you got to eat the pizza. And then you're going to chase me with the pizza. Because he didn't say cut. And I thought for sure he was going to say, okay, that's fine, thank you. And he didn't. So I went from pizza to spaghetti to meatballs to lasagna to every pasta that I could possibly think of, until I started making pastas up. Oh, we're going to make a nice dish of a tomato rozzotto rapello. This is the best dish you ever had in your life. And I love it, mamma mia, she make it. And I just kept going and going and going until I finally heard, stop talking, cut, there's no more tape. Thank you.
God, really?
I thought that was the very end, but it was that was the beginning. I guess that was about September in 1991. So that's 29 years ago. It's just 29 beautiful, wonderful, happy, adventurous years. I have so much gratitude for that moment, for that wonderful company, for that wonderful producer, to all the people I work with at Nintendo. I just so much joy and so much gratitude for these beautiful years.
Okay, but I got a question now then again.
Sure.
So you say that this started in 1991 when they told you this is going to be a video game character.
Yeah,
but I'm pretty sure that most of the masses, if you will, or most of the audience first heard Mario in 1996 for Super Mario 64. Yes. So what happened between 1991 and 1996?
That's a great question, Cesar, because I was doing this character. It was supposed to be a one-time thing at one Consumer Electronics Show the first week of January 1992. And I went there, I did it, I had such a great time. I fell in love with this character, and they liked it enough to say, well, what are you doing in June? We'll get you back out here and do another one in Chicago. And I went, yippee! And I did it in Chicago. And I thought, this is the best thing ever. I love it. And we had such a great time, such a great family of people that worked on that show. 18 semi-tractor trailers full of shows, and 18 more semi-tractor trailers full of new equipment, and 20 more coming in. I mean, it's just this massive, beautiful circus of adventure and imagination that unfolded from cement walls and cement floors into this magical wonderland, and that's what we did, and I would be a small, tiny part of it as always. And it was just a beautiful adventure, and I managed to make them want to do it again and again and again until one day I got a phone call. Mr. Miyamoto would like you to do Mario in a video game, to which I said, yippee!
So
64, that beautiful game that changed my life and changed the whole world of video.
Revolutionary.
3 dimensions and the playfulness, the joy, and yet always a Mario game, It's 2D or 3D, but it changed the whole world. The way side-scrolling changed the world. The way a plot and a character, that you knew changed the world. Everything keeps changing the world, but it's always the joy of the player, the joy of the game that is the motivating factor, that is the reason there are changes, and it's so beautiful to be a small, tiny little part of that. But I'm lucky, for me, the voiceover is kind of like the icing on a wedding cake, it looks
I wouldn't say it's that small of a part, to be honest. I think it's pretty important. I think it's pretty iconic, actually. Like, Mario is like one of the most recognized characters ever. Like people that don't play video games at all know who Mario is. So I would say that it's pretty important. But however, I didn't understand that part. So when you were going to these gaming conventions, so what, were you like mo-capped or you were like behind a screen or what?
That's a great question. I had we had a helmet made based on my head. And then roller balls and tracking devices so that I would glue these things on my eyebrow, on my mouth, here and here. So when I would say, hello, it's me, Mario, that would make the little rollers roll. That would send electrical energy to this massive supercomputer that was as big as the desk you're on right now, that would sit there grinding out the numbers. We had to put dry ice on the supercomputer. Graphics
to keep it from overheating?
To keep it from overheating. And now I do the same thing, but it doesn't track my motion anymore. It tracks the motion of sound. When you go ooh, ah, e, the computer hears and goes, e always goes e. You can't go e.
No, it wouldn't be the same,
sound right. So it tracks and it keeps computer, and it's done on a couple of Apple computer laptops. It's just, the genius of that engineer. Again, he did all the work. And I get to go out and go, yippee!
To travel the world.
I admire it. And you talk about what goes into a video game. Oh my goodness. The concept, the ideas, the physical drawings. The electronicing of it, the all the way until it's like you start putting this thing together, and then somebody's got to go, lots of people got to go in there and check every single frame, every single moment to make sure that the game has full integrity. It's amazing. And then people have to package it and market it and complete it and do all these things, and I come in there and go, yippee! I'm the luckiest guy in the world, I'll tell you.
Yeah, I would say so. We have Mario 64, which is a success, and we got Mario Kart 64, and then we saw the birth of Paper Mario and Mario Party and all that.
Yes, and Sunshine.
Sunshine was the GameCube, yeah.
Oh my goodness. This is a game that I don't think the whole world has really experienced yet.
I've actually never played Mario Sunshine. I'm waiting for the 3D All-Stars to play it for the first time. Because back when I was growing up, nobody had it.
Nobody had it. Because the GameCube, nobody had the GameCube, not as many people. But I'm going to tell you, it really rocks, that game. I love it. That's when they first created the memory wand, remember the old NES when you died 3 times or you go, oh no, I got to start at the beginning again. Finally, with the memory wand, you could save your progress. And I was in Australia doing some interviews with journalists. I had 75 interviews, and the journalists would come in and they'd play the game, and I'd say, oh yeah, and I'd watch what they were playing, and then they'd finish, and I'd push save every time. So the next journalist had it harder and harder and harder.
Well, so they could see different aspects of it.
Yeah, and I got to see the whole game as it went through, which I see snippets of when I'm doing it in the voice studio, but to actually see the game, the whole thing, the way, because I love playing Mario games, but I'm not very good.
Yeah, well, some of them are really hard, man. Like the later ones have been really hard. Like the Dark Side of Odyssey is like really, really hard.
It's really, really hard, yes. I always play well enough to find out that the princess is not in this castle.
That's as far as you go. Sorry, go on. Sorry.
No, or that one sometimes.
Oh, okay. The other thing that I'm pretty curious about is when you were talking about the recording studio. So for every single game that they make, do you have to go in and record new takes, or do they just reuse? You go in a lot.
A lot, and it's just such a joyful. Let me tell you, it's such a great experience because I love sushi and I love food. I know everybody knows this, but sometimes we have these beautiful sushi lunches. We talk about the project, we get ready to go, and then when the hour comes, bing, we're in there, and I'm so inspired. Sushi inspires me.
So sushi inspires you. That's interesting. Okay.
It's beautiful. It's just so beautiful. I love food. I watch. One of the things I've been doing is watching. There's this guy in China has like 4 million subscribers, and all he does is eat food. But he eats the giant king crab. There are 4 species of it. He gets that flown in all 4 species, and some of them, they have legs that long, and he just eats them.
Yeah,
On camera.
he just eats them on camera.
They're going, I want to do that. I want to get, and you get caviar from all over the world. This beautiful Russian and Persian caviar, and then he just eats it, and he just like puts it in his mouth, and his expression like this, and he's like so happy to be eating.
Yeah, it's like, it gives him actual joy, and he gets paid for that too.
Yeah, he gets paid for it. I could do that job. I could enjoy food.
There you go. Aside from voice acting, you could also do these types of videos, right? You could go around the world and eat.
And eat pico roco and, mussels and clams and oysters and lobsters. And, I mean, this is a great life. But that's the whole thing, isn't it? The guy's a genius. He's very young, but he managed to find something that he passionately loves and has joy with, and he's doing it. And I think the world of that, I just think that's what we got to do is find, like, you love the work that you do. Mm-hmm. And it's never work when you love it. I know that sounds trite, but it's really true. It's never work when you love something.
Yeah. So, okay, that's also an interesting take because, okay, talking about passion, voice actors nowadays, they're extremely more popular than they ever were. Like you have people like Helena Taylor, Nolan North, you yourself even, Troy Baker, Why do you think that people are now so much more appreciative of that art than they used to be like 10 or 20 years ago?
That's a very good question. But, honestly, you talk about Nolan North and these guys, they are just Troy Baker. They're just fabulous, genuinely wonderful people and amazingly talented. And I think that the world has opened up to the talent behind the camera, behind that microphone like nowhere before. And I have a terrible confession. When I was a child, I would say until I was 35, when I saw like Fred Flintstone going yabba dabba doo, that was real to me. That's the thing. Right, there was no actor behind that. It was like, that's Fred Flintstone, Like to me, there's no actor behind there. That's Mario, Yeah. And so I think I hope the whole world had that phenomenon too of realizing, wow, there's somebody that does that, and particularly when people do it really well, because before originally it was very, very few people. And it was a very small club. And as the club got bigger and the talent pools went out and reached out, people started to realize that. And I honestly, it's companies like, Expogame is so gracious to have me. And by the way, just always such gratitude for being invited and for meeting fans. But, you guys like bringing somebody out like me people go, oh my gosh, yes, that's the guy that does that. And the appreciation, people love to appreciate. People love that energy of joy and happiness and gratitude. And I will say voice actors, we're very silly people. And we're very, very child-brained people, very serious politically, but very childlike, because you have to, you suspend all belief in everything and become, a guy with, beady, teeny eyes or the big jaw, you just become that and you get to physicalize it and you get to do that and play that adventure, becoming this character that's way different from life in 2-dimension or 3-dimension or, a giant or a mini thing or, and it's remarkable, that joy. I think it's contagious, and maybe it's a piece of that, but also it's the invitation for sure of conventions to people like us, that people went, oh my goodness, well, I love going to see the guys from Star Trek, and I love seeing the guys from Star Wars and from, Rocky Horror Picture Show, but oh my goodness, I've been playing this game my whole life, or oh my goodness, that's Vegeta, that's the guy that, he's like my favorite character,
Yeah.
Just like that, it opens the door, and really, I want to just say one thing, because I did touch on it, but if I may, please, I just,
Go on.
I am so grateful to Nintendo for the joy of getting to play these great characters, and always tremendously grateful to the Comic-Con companies, the Expogame companies like Expogame Chile, to bring me out to give me the joy of meeting fans. And I'm the most grateful for the fans who love the games and play the games from generation to generation. I played with my dad, now I'm playing with my son. I played with my grandfather, now I'm playing with my children. That sort of thing has such great meaning for me. And it's what allows me to do what I do. Your love, your joy, your passion for the game is what allows me to do those again and again, and then to come out and meet people and feel their love and their joy and their happiness. It's the greatest thing ever, really.
So how does that happen for you in like the day-to-day, sorry? So like, do you go out on the street and people are like, that's Mario, let's go say hello? Or is it just like encased on certain
does
events?
happen. It's not every single day. And I think that's even luckier to not have the fame that everywhere you go, everybody knows who you are, But it happens everywhere in the world. It happened in the airport in Istanbul. It happened in where I was in Heidelberg. It happens in airports everywhere. I was at an Italian restaurant the other day, and somebody said, "I'm sorry, but I just know you are right. You are right.
It's you, right? Yeah.
It's a me." It's just so sweet.
That's awesome.
Together, it's the joy, the love. It's just so beautiful. It's what people do the best, and that's where you have to be careful. You read the newspaper and you think that people are best at being bad, but people are the best when they're being good, when they're connecting, when they're doing what they love, when they're sharing their joy and their love and their passion, really.
Yeah, it's because the bad actions are noisier, right? That's why you hear a lot about them. You don't hear about all these types of stories that you're talking about. You hear more about the bad stuff.
Yep. Yeah, it's the truth. And you're right, those are noisier. Yeah. We gotta go for peace in the world and joy in the world and love and light in the world, because life is so precious. Families are so precious. Their families are precious. Every mother loves their children. Every child loves their mother all around the world. We're just, you can have a different skin color. You can speak a different language. You can be from a different part of the world. We're all the same. We're all one family, Todos somos una familia.
Sí, todos somos una familia. So I find really interesting what you were talking about when it comes to embodying a character like Mario, because I was reading an interview about on Bob Hoskins. That was the guy that played Mario in the big screen.
In the movie.
So he was talking about how hard it was for him and for John Leguizamo to do it, because he said that when he wanted to act about Mario, he had I quote, "a little guy jumping all over the screen." So to him, that was just impossible to bring to life. What do you think? What do you think is different? How were you able to bring him to life? And would you do like a Mario movie?
Oh, well, my goodness. If invited, I would be delighted. We'll see, I never know until that phone rings, until the pager goes off.
Until the pager goes off when you're on the beach.
Yeah, I never know, but of course I would love that. That character is one of the greatest adventures for me was doing Mario Teaches Typing. I think we recorded that game in 1995. Because they were full expressions. And I was playing with the character in live every time I did a show, when we did PR, when we did product announcement, we did the announcement for Nintendo 64 and the N64, then the GameCube, all these things. So I was learning about Mario, and learning the parameters of Mario. But when I was doing Mario Teaches Typing, it was such a blessing, because with these sentences, and of course, when you're teaching typing, well, people fail and they don't do well, or they do well one time and not as good, and the script sometimes said, oh, that wasn't very good, or, that wasn't, that didn't work, and I thought, can I change this? Let me just change this a little bit to, that was great. Let's do it even better next time.
Yeah. Positive reinforcement.
Because children hear no so much in their lives, and rightfully so sometimes.
Rightfully so.
They hear no so much, and they hear no, oh, and that was a failure. but what if this person was always loving and always supportive and always kind, you know? I mean, after all, he's a plumber who falls in love with a princess. He's the everyman in all of us that falls in love and dedicates his life to loving this person, to rescuing and protecting and saving. And so we changed. They were so gracious because we were all exploring the character, as we always do. And they let that character expand and grow into this loving, caring, joyful person. And that's what I have clung on to and will always hold as what is sacred about Mario, is the love, the positive energy, the always respectful, always joyful, always. And that was the great gift of Mario Teaches typing for me. And that's why, for me, the character's always alive in me, because the gift of Mario to me was to find that in my own heart, to make it real in bringing it back to Mario, you know, so reflecting it back to Mario. So I got to discover a much better part of myself.
That's pretty wholesome. I like it. I only have like one last question, maybe.
Oh, sure.
Because we were speaking about video games and passion about video games and the characters and what they can achieve and what they can do for other people. You were part of a documentary that was called High Score.
Oh, yes, that was really fun. Yeah, that was for Netflix, and we did 6 episodes. We recorded that during the pandemic, you know, which was an amazing feat to do. Actually, no, we didn't. It was right before. That was right before the pandemic. Yes. It was still an amazing feat to do because I learned so much about video games and the history of video games, you know, and I had known like Nolan Bushnell and some of the guys that were interviewed. And I went, oh, that's old Nolan there, you know, who started Atari, you know,
the guy from Atari,
this, you know, the godfather of video games, you know. So it was so fun to see my friends, to see people I'd never seen before, and to see the creators in Japan who had worked so hard to find out, you know, what it is in this little world of a video game that started with a little blip going side to side to a ping pong paddle blip, you know, that brought people in and brought a certain level of joy that was different and beyond anything that had ever been done before. And it's remarkable to see that evolution. And these were really wonderful people. I worked with the people from My Great Big Story, which were the people that interviewed me at Nintendo headquarters a few years ago. And they were just so wonderful to work with. And they were doing this documentary. And they said, we thought about you. And I said, thank you very much. You know, what a nice thing. And so we got together, we did this, and they're just fabulous to work with. The people at High Score, absolutely marvelous artists, dedicated, marvelous artists. And of course, the Netflix people were so generous and so kind and really, you know, helped put that project together. So that was a joy. And as usual, you know, they send me the script and I go in but it's one of the few times I'm doing jobs outside of Mario nowadays. So it was like, wow, really? You know, the thing is, I'm not really a narrator. I'm a cartoon character, you know, but you know, to do something like that is an adventure. And it's like, well, I can be nervous and scared and clench up about it, or I can make it an adventure, you know, and if I'm nervous and clenched up, my reads are going to sound tense instead of joyful or instead of interested. So I had to like back myself up and go, let's just have fun. Let's just make this fun. And that's what I did, you know. There's a thing, I don't know if there are young people that want to be an actor, but I can tell you, I have one lesson about acting because I don't know how to teach. I don't know anything about it, really anything except that it's all magic. But, you know, when you're actually acting or when you're auditioning, if you try to do what somebody wants you to do, you'll never get the part. It's like love. When you try to do what you think somebody wants you to do for you to love them and love you, you'll never get that love. You know, it's not possible.
No, it doesn't work that way.
It's not the way it works. You have to be yourself, you know? And so I think it's like a dog chasing a ball or a stick on the beach. They don't go, ooh, I wonder if I should wag my tail and run with 3 legs or gallop, or if I should trot. No, he just wants to get the ball.
Yeah.
You study those lines, you look at those lines, you make decisions on the character, and you've trained and you've worked and you've listened, you've observed, you've done all your work. But once you're actually auditioning, or once you're actually doing the job, you're not looking for the money, you're not looking for the approval of the producer or the director. You want the ball. And it's going to throw it, and you just got to go get it, You got to go get it, and then bring it back, and drop it, and then go get it again, and then bring it back. Because it's that absolute focus on that play, on that joy, on that giving whatever it is you're giving to it, and receiving whatever it is you're receiving from it. And you can't do it if you're looking from out here, because you've taken yourself completely out of it. And I can actually remember, because, I was doing a lot of ads, and sometimes, usually, almost always as a character, but sometimes as the as the narrator of it, And I can remember, you look through the window, you've got like 5 clients on a big commercial. They're in there, and they're shaking their heads as they're listening, and you see them go, no, like this, and like this. And in your brain, if you're talking to yourself, that negative voice, and you see them go like this, you go, oh my gosh, I'm terrible. They hate me. They're going to fire me. This is awful. Then your next read is going to be terrible too. And they might be sitting there going, no, I don't think I want sandwiches for lunch again. I think we should, well, I don't want salads either, So you don't know what they're doing. So get yourself back into your soul, your heart, and just go out there and get that ball on the beach. Have fun. Do it because it gives you joy, Is
that what happened to you when you first started, when you first read for Mario?
Oh, no, I just ran like a dog on the beach. I started doing it. I'm like, oh, this is fun. Let me change to another pasta. Oh, now we're going to chase each other down the hill in a lasagna pan. Hey, let's put it in a crock and run it down there, and just like very limited like number of things. I didn't know anything about making a game, but I could keep having some fun and some exploration, and I was having a great time. And he said one direction. This is the other thing about acting. Always follow the direction. Every other actor, said, hey, my name's Mario, and I'm a plumber from Brooklyn, and I rescued the princess. How you doing today? Something like that. And they would break character. And the director would say, yes, thank you very much. And that was the end of their audition. But I never broke character until the tape ended, and I was told to stop talking, because I took the direction, and I didn't stop playing. And in the end, he only sent my tape up to Nintendo. He called Nintendo and said, I found our Mario. I got him. And he only sent my tape. And I went back to the beach thinking, well, that's the end of that. At least I can watch the sunset and have a great day, and we'll go have dinner later on. He got on the phone. That was it. And the next day I was on my way to LA, and, that was just... The rest is a beautiful history of magical joy and fun. And, I wish that for everybody, find what you love to do, find what brings you joy in your heart, and express that love, that happiness, that joy that you feel, whether it's driving a pickup truck or a garbage truck or doing electricity or making video games or drawing or art or music or culture. Because, if my passion was to be an opera singer, I can guarantee you I was never going to be an opera singer, but I would have had a great time trying to be an opera singer.
Well, yeah, that's also the important part.
Yeah, I would have met someone who somehow I would have found something in the opera. It might have been selling tickets at the door. It might have been running an opera company. It might have been being a director. It might have been building sets. I don't know. But if I had been exploring my passion, and my passion was opera, something would be there. And even if I became something else, a manager of a computer company, and I still had passion for opera, I have to keep that passion alive. Yeah. I'd keep doing that passion, because the passion brings the joy and the heart and fulfills you, gives you that joy and that incredible beauty of life. Of living a full life. And that's what it's about. If it's food, if it's art, if it's culture, if it's cooking, if it's talking, find it. And sometimes you'll find that the thing you want the most, you're the most afraid of.
Yeah. People are afraid to pursue their own dreams,
Yeah. It's scary to succeed. It's more risky to succeed than it is to fail. But, that's what we're here to do, is to go through our fears. You know, when I first stood in front of an audience, I was shaking so much I thought they were hearing. I didn't know if I said the lines. I don't know I don't know. But my leg was shaking like this. I put my weight on it. The other leg started shaking. I put my weight evenly. They both started shaking. Like this.
Yeah.
And I finished, and people went, "Hey, now how come it is that you were the only person among all of us that wasn't nervous?" And I, of course, I knew I was terrified, but they didn't.
They didn't know. Yeah.
No,
so that's really good advice. It's really good advice.
Thank you.
I like it, and I want to thank you for taking the time to be here.
Thank you.
I am honored, to be honest, to be able to talk to you. So, and hopefully we'll be able to see you over here in Chile soon.
I hope so.
We'll go for some picoroco and some seafood too.
Muchas gracias a todos mis amigos en Chile. Ustedes, de veras, ustedes son número uno de mi corazón.
Qué bonito. Quiero dar también las gracias a las personas. Recuerden seguir a Expogame y Expogame Chile y la red de Expogame. Y queremos darle de nuevo las gracias a Don Charles. Thanks a lot for being here. Much. Y eso, muchísimas gracias. Chao, chao.
A ustedes, muchísimas gracias. Chao.
Chao, chao.